Seem to be having some sort of issue with my streaming software, so just trying to figure this out. I've just been having an issue with my streaming software, but I think I've sorted it out. Yeah, I sorted it out. Okay. So far, Nasdaq has taken the previous daily high. Okay. I'm looking for further buy side targets. I'm looking for these levels to be taken out. In terms of buy side, DXY is slowly moving lower, as we can see, and we've got ES moving lower also at the moment, but testing this fair value gap. So I'm thinking eventually we will see price move higher. So Nasdaq currently testing this 1 hour fair value gap. So I'm just waiting now for 10 a.m. to pass. See what it wants to do. Usually 10 a.m. will provide a silver bullet type trade, which we can look for. We see here previous daily high was taken, left relative equal highs here, and then made its way down. And currently ES is following suit. Bond market 10-year T-note is taking sell side, currently making its way back up slowly. So just waiting to see the reaction that we get off of this 1 hour fair value gap at the moment. See if it wants to go lower or find some sort of support here. So we made our way back into the opening range gap, and now we've dropped below the opening range gap low. We've taken out sell side, which was created in that run into the New York Open. Have a look at the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so we got this 4 hour BISI as well. could go down as far as this consequent encroachment of the 4-hour wick. I'm just going to delineate that. So we see that 1-hour candles closed below this BISI. So this could indicate further downside. So DXY. Okay, so we're currently in this range for DXY. It's unclear whether it's going to carry on going down or if it's just going to stay range bound here. So still nothing too clear at the moment. You can see here on the 1-hour, it's just range bound. But then we've got these relative equal highs, and my focus is still on buy side. So I'm just waiting for that. So we can see here 15-minute order block along with this 4-hour wick consequent encroachment. So I'm going to see how price reacts there. It is now 10 a.m. I'm thinking price is probably going to be range bound, or it might try and make the low of the week. This is it's unclear at the moment. So I'm just taking it very, very easy. Just waiting to see what price might want to give me. So the low 17,624.50. So sensitivity off of that consequent encroachment 4-hour wick along with the 15-minute order block. Should it start making its way back up, we're now in a deep discount. So I'm thinking, should we respect consequent encroachment of this wick? I might look for a buy, but nothing clear just yet. No rush, just being very, very patient. Okay, so ES making its way down also. But Nasdaq is a lot weaker. So currently respecting consequent encroachment of that wick on the 1 minute. And we're at a key area here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna try for a long here. I'm just gonna place my stop here. I'm gonna see if price wants to work its way back up to these levels. So I'd like to see price close above this area here. Should my trade continue to remain valid? Okay, so it looks like price is gonna go for my stop here, but just remaining patient. Right, okay, so that's stop out. So this fair value gap here is pretty much the last line of defense for the 15-minute. So first trade of the day, slight loss. Mm, So I'm going to take the same amount of contracts here. I'm going to place my stop below this fair value gap. If this doesn't pan out, then I'm going to wait for that 12 o'clock volatility from the FOMC news. So this is the last trade attempt for now. See if we can make that loss back. So now I'm considering this to be a deep, deep discount. And should price want to continue going higher, it should do it from here. So I'm just going to remain patient and see what it does. Okay, so I'm going to take a small portion off here. Okay, I'm gonna take two more off just to cover that loss. I'm gonna stay in with one contract. So we've just made that loss back. So managing the money. My target is going to be see if we can get that. So bullish breaker here. I'm gonna place my stop below this IFVG. I don't want to see price drop back below there. I want to see it respect this bullish breaker. Gonna take profit there. Right, so I want to see it aggressively go through this previous candle high. If it doesn't, I'm going to close the trade. So if it just slightly goes above it and rejects, then I'm going to close the trade. So I want to see it hit the TP now. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we made our money back plus $665. So it was a $1,300 loss, and we made that 1,300 back plus 665. So that trade alone was 1,995. 1,965 for 5 contracts. Okay, so that initial loss that I incurred at this area here for this consequent encroachment, I attempted to tee off on it, hit the stop loss, and then came into a very strong area of support for me. Took the trade, and total handles caught off of this trade were 27 handles. Not bad. So it was an 11 handle stop and a 27 handle win. There's literally no one in this. There's only one person in this live stream right now. Okay, we see price currently very, very strong, making its way back up. I'm seeing price making its way all the way back up here. So I'm just waiting to see. Okay, DXY is looking weak at the moment, which is good. Right, so at this point, I would like to see price actually tag this inversion fair value gap since we stalled here. I'm thinking I'll take 2 contracts long and I'll put my stop just below here. Okay, so that's a very aggressive move down. So that tells me we've got some more downside to go potentially. Okay, so DXY has just moved up significantly. So I'm going to try and look for an entry here. To take this consequent encroachment. So it's right there. So I'm thinking this might actually look to form the low of the week potentially. So let's just see what it has to offer. To be honest, I like what it's doing here for a long. So I'm gonna go long here. I'm gonna place my stop below here. I'm gonna take 3 contracts off at that fair value gap here. Should it get there? I want to see it move up aggressively here. I don't want to see it stall. So if it does stall, I'm going to quickly exit the trade. So I'm not going to let this take my stop. I'm going to look and see what forms here. And if it fails, I'm going to get out quickly. I might just take all my position off here. Yep, so I'll take that. Okay, so that's $900 profit. So I'm just being very, very nimble at the moment because of the news that's coming out at the afternoon. So we could see some choppiness. I want a lot more confirmation because price is currently making its way down consistently. I want to see if we actually respect this or just trade around it. I want some more confirmation that we might actually get that reversal and go up. So already in a profit, I'm not looking to risk too much right now. So I'm looking to protect the profit that I've made. I'm just waiting for price to show its hand. I might just have to wait for the afternoon news release. So FOMC members speaking at 12 p.m. New York time. So all the times that I mention, I'm always speaking on New York time because that's the time that everything moves off of. So everything moves off of New York time. So it's always best to set your charts to New York time. So then that way you're in sync with what's going on in New York rather than you getting confused on your local time. Obviously, your computer already has your local time, so your charts don't need your local time. You're better off setting them to New York time. Because all the key times that I mention are in New York time. So I want to see, does price respect this after taking sell side twice on the 5 minute? Does price respect this level and carry on moving down? Or does it set up for a reversal to the upside? So that's what I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm observing. Okay, so I like this. I like what it's doing here. So I've already taken a trade and it's been profitable. So I need to hold on to the profits until that real volatility comes in the PM session. But I'm not going to be live streaming the PM session. But if I was going to take another trade, I would be considering taking a long from here. Of course, this is just my opinion. But I'd be very, very nimble. So in terms of where I would want to go long, you can see here this IFBG is currently being tested. So I would probably go long off of here and look for price to take those highs. And I would place my stop just below here. So entry here, and stop here. So 19 handle stop in this case. So I'd adjust my risk parameters accordingly. So if I was in this trade, I'm looking to see if price breaches this imbalance and carries on going up. If it respects this imbalance, then I would look to reduce my risk. So rather than trade this, I'm just going to talk through it. Okay, so far so good. I wouldn't be looking to reduce risk just yet. If I'm in more than in with more than one contract, then I'd be looking to take some sort of partial at this consequent encroachment here. So I'm waiting to see that. Okay, so now I'd be looking to take a partial and I'd move my stop just below this 1 minute IFVG and I'm letting the rest run. If I was in, if I still had some partials to take, I would wait for price to take out this high and then I would take another partial. And once I've taken that partial, I would move my stop to break even. Again, these are scalping techniques. So I'm following the high frequency trading algorithm model. But I'm not trading as frequently as an algorithm would because I'm human. So I'm prone to emotions and reactions that you know could affect my P&L. So I have to adjust my psychology because as much as I would try to, be mechanical in my approach, it's almost impossible to just get rid of all your emotions. So you have to just trade accordingly. At the end of the day, we're in this to make money. This is a game of making money. So we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for just extracting profits consistently. Okay. So at this point, I'd reduce my risk because I don't want to see this. I want to see it carry on going higher. Again, this type of price action is expected due to the news release coming out in the afternoon. So I'm not expecting fireworks in the AM session. Okay, so seeing what it's doing here, I would just close the position. So I would have already taken partials. My stop is here. I would close the position here and save my stop. So not very clean leading up to the news event at 12. So I'll be waiting for that 10:50 to 11:10 macro. So between 10:50 to 11:10 New York time, there is a macro which the algorithm runs. So I'm waiting for that time period in order to see if there's something clear for me to take. Okay, so you see here, I would have saved my stop, taken a very, very small um, loss or even break even at that entry level. I had already taken partials here and here. Well, no, actually, I took partials here, just here. So that's what I would have done hypothetically. Again, just reading price is very, very useful because when you can train yourself to read price like this, then it makes the actual trading a lot easier and a lot more intuitive because you're drilling this into your subconscious rather than just going off of rules on a piece of paper. For me, rules on a piece of paper will not work long term. Sometimes you have to be quick, sometimes you have to be nimble, you have to make decisions, and you have to learn to trust yourself. Your rules might not be in your best interest at a certain market condition. So you have to be able to make those decisions quickly and not keep referring back to a list of rules on a piece of paper, if that makes sense. Rules are good, but you also have to know when to override and make the decisions which are in your best interest to protect your capital and consistently build that P&L. Okay, so I'm not expecting fireworks right now. Nothing too exciting going on at the moment. Let me just get rid of some of these levels so it's not confusing. We don't need this. So these are our 15-minute levels. So look at the DXY. So I'm not doing much right now above these highs currently. We took buy side here as well. So I'm gonna put this is so I'm gonna delineate this fair value gap on the DXY. Okay, so we see how price is currently respecting the low of this CIVI, this sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, and currently working lower. So as a result, we should see Nasdaq moving higher. Okay, so coming into 5 minutes of that lunchtime macro, 10:50 to 11:10. Have a quick look at the 4 hour. So we see how we tested this, reclaimed this order block because we actually claimed it yesterday and we've reclaimed it today, this 4 hour order block. Something to keep in mind. But just look at that 4 hours, very, very messy. So this tells me price is waiting for a significant news event to get moving. FOMC members speaking today and tomorrow. So that could be a volatility driver. It's most likely going to be. 10 a.m. we saw that CAD news. As you can see, we've been range bound since the CAD news, and this is very, very characteristic of CAD news and its effects on the US equities markets. Usually after the CAD news, around half an hour of choppiness is expected. That's just what I've observed, and I've seen it so many times that I'm now fully convinced that that's what it does. So I do not like trading CAD news with US equities. If we're looking for volatility in the US equities market, we're simply looking at the US news releases for volatility injections. So just looking at multiple time frames to see if there's anything worth taking. So on the 5 minute, see price trading around the mean threshold of this bullish candle, also respecting this fair value gap. We've come down into a key fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame and reclaimed that 4-hour order block, which I showed you earlier. So these are all things we have to consider when thinking about which direction the market is likely to go. But just looking at what I'm seeing here, I'm not comfortable taking any shorts. I'll be looking for longs, right? So I'm interested to see if price wants to revisit this level. I'd be willing to take a long off here. So we're just looking at it at the moment. This is a consequent encroachment of a 4-hour wick. We can see how also price trades around these levels. The algorithm just refers back to these levels, and it's very clear that there is an algorithm driving these markets just of how it respects these levels and refers back to them. Look how many times price has traded around this level. Okay, so price coming down here now. Let's see. Might give me an opportunity for scalp. Okay, so that's an aggressive move to the upside. We can see price is range bound right now. However, DXY is still looking bearish. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to take a long position, just waiting. See if I can get the best entry possible. Okay, so I'm going to take a long here, and my stop isn't going to be too wide. I'm thinking I'm going to put my stop just below this level in case it wants it. I'm going to reduce the risk a bit. I'll only go on 2 contracts here. I want the stop a bit wider. So this is my last line of defense. I want to see price respect this and react off it. If it doesn't, then I'm out. Okay, so I want to see this go up now. I don't want to see it stall. And just with the way price is moving right now, I'm gonna look to reduce my risk should it not uh, carry on going higher. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit, see if it wants to push any higher. Got my finger on the trigger ready to manage the risk just in case. Okay, I like what I see so far. So I'm gonna move my stop here now. I'm going to take a partial here because I've already made some very good profits that I don't want to give back on the day. So even though I am expecting bullishness, I'm being disciplined in my approach with money management. And this will probably be the last trade which I take until the PM session. So I'm just seeing how price reacts here now. It needs to give me something now. If it doesn't, I'm just going to get out. So I'm just going to delineate this. If it wants to reclaim this fair value gap, then I'll just be happy with that. I'm not going to look for too big of a move simply because of that news event. I'm just expecting range bound market So I'm going to take my profit here should it get there. I don't really need it to get to my target, so let me just wait a bit and yeah, that's good enough. And there we go. Very, very nice. So the entry that I took was here. Let me just execution. So entry, reduced risk, and then took profit here and here, entered there, reduced risk there, and then took the remainder of my profit there and there. Okay, so it's been a good day, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm gonna see if I live stream the PM session. I might just live stream the PM session because it's gonna be a lot more animated than what we've seen so far. So that's it for now, and I'll be back.